Good morning. So I thought I'd go live with you guys while I'm having my breakfast because busy day, busy week, lots to do. So I thought I'd actually sit and pause and this count as some rest. And if you're reading my emails, or mainly you'll know what I'm talking about when it comes out. And please excuse this. My bridge fell out. So before we go into what I wanted to talk about, I find this quite funny. I've been working on my teeth and my I've been researching for the last couple of years about mineralisation, obviously the toxic side of fluoride and the benefits of other stuff for building the bacteria in the mouth rather than killing everything, and how it works with our gut. And then it's wellness point. So there is a relevance. So, but I've been working on clearing. So I have the heavy metal detox smoothie, which takes metals out of the body. It locks onto things and takes it out, which over time builds up, and we get in from various sources. So if you want to know more about that, go check out Medical Medium, because he talks about the science of it. That's channeled information, though, for those that want it to just be peer-reviewed science. Lots of the things that he talks about, because I think some people he's a bit too much for, and it might scare you off. But lots of things he talks about, it's important to know that all of the things he talks about, in fact, that current science proved, some of it took 30 years, but have proved. So 30 years ago, he was banging on about stuff, and science took 30 years to catch up. So that's why I kind of trust, and there's not things that have been disproved. It's the other way around. And a lot of people, although they don't quote where their information comes from, it does come from him. So really kind of helpful information, and like life-changing foods book is well worth getting, even from the library. If you can, I think you have to pay £1 to get books in. But he says you don't have to buy my books. It's not about the money. It's about people who have the information. They can't wait 30 years for science to catch up. And I have to agree. So that's why I always share stuff, and I'm a firm believer in him. It's helped me. So I came across obviously him, but working with looking at how we can remineralize our teeth. Lots of people don't know you can do that. But apparently every time we eat, the teeth start to sort of fall away, and then the body remineralizes it. So it's a normal process. So anyway, I was thinking about something I was looking into, because I have the celery juice every day, and I have a lot of the celery juice for clearing. But this is why is that relevant for my teeth? It's the taking away all the rubbish that was in my mouth, and actually feels so much better. Certainly loving it. I really, really feel like my mouth, since my bridge fell out, and let me clarify, what fell out, although I call it a bridge, it wasn't a bridge. When you're up until you're 16, because your mouth is still growing, what they had done for me was put this brace thing in. So it was a temporary bridge that I've had now. That's it's lasted an extra 20 years. When I first had an issue with it in my 20s, I couldn't afford, I think they quoted £6,000, and they said they don't do bridges, and I understand why now, because it destroyed this tooth that it was on. And then he said what I can do then is sort of cement it in, which is what they did. They sort of stuck it in. They cut off parts of the bits that weren't needed, finished them off, and popped it back in, because it had obviously been made for my mouth, my teeth. And it lasted another 10 years? 15 years. So before I bit into something in our local New Delhi, and it literally fell out. So whether it's just that and it's end of its life, or whether it feels as though my mouth is so much better and that's all happening. The reason I do that, and part of that, when people say, well, all of this stuff, if you do that diet, it's expensive. So I entitled this live, Can We Cut Out the Middleman? Meaning the supermarket. So have you ever thought about getting veg boxes? Do you get veg boxes? Because I was looking at researching, where can I buy directly from the farmer to help the farmers in their and buy local. So I'm buying in the UK. So the sustainability, obviously, for that. I was actually going to go live on my Nature Fan Live Love Lead page, which is a little hobby of mine. So I share all the vegan friendly sustainability stuff on there. But it wouldn't let me go live because it's kind of just people I know. And apparently now they've changed the settings to go live, possibly on just a page. I don't know if because it's allowing me to go live on my personal page, but then there's over 100. You have to have 100 followers before you can go live now, which has changed. I used to be able to go live, so I don't know why that's happening. A couple of times I've had issues with going live in my private group as well, so I'm wondering if they're sort of encouraging that to build things. I don't know. So I thought I could go live on here as my daily live, and then we can post it later. So you don't need to know all that, I'm sure. So I wanted to get celery. I use a lot of celery, and I was going to up the amount of fluid ounces that I take, but buying the supermarket is quite expensive. Also, he recommends organic celery. Try and do that when I can. So I thought I'd research, look, Kent Farms, because I live in Kent, where can I buy direct? And one of the farmers, while I was doing that, because the school are looking at having strawberries on their fair for their summer fair, I said I'd research for that. So I've been speaking to some farms in Kent, and one, they recommended brilliantly where they get their strawberries from Wimbledon. And it made me think, have you thought about this? Is this something that interests you, your diet? I mean, Wednesday is when I highlight healthy kind of eating, healthy habits, well-being, and share well-being wisdom, knowledge about food and stuff. So I thought, lots of people do get veg boxes. Are you one of them? I haven't looked into it, but I want to, and I will keep you updated with what happens and the prices, whether it's saving money or more expensive to do that because you're paying for the quality. I think most people, I certainly assumed it was more expensive, and I'm assuming it's more expensive. But actually, when you think about it, it may well not be. So it's worth looking into. That was what I wanted to highlight in my live today. Have you considered contacting local farms? Do you have local farms where you live? There's certainly loads in Kent, is where you are. There's loads around there that do it. When I've been researching, a lot of them are in, North East Kent. So you should be quite good. A lot of them deliver direct to your door as well. So worth looking into to get. But what I didn't realise, for example, at the moment, most of the celery, he said, comes from Spain because they have things in seasons. So then obviously you're looking at eating the seasons. And my daughter and my husband joked the other day, oh, Mum, you wouldn't be allowed to have your bananas that you like for breakfast. Last night I'm a member of a Healthy Habits Club that someone else runs. And she was saying to me, because it's about keeping sugar levels and stuff, diabetes, all in check, and a whole banana that's real high sugar in the morning, have half, put it in the freezer, slice it up, and then you'll have less, or you need less. You've still got the sweetness there, and you're not having as much that jumps the blood sugars. And obviously protein for me, being vegan, trying to keep making sure I have that protein in balance of the protocols I do with Medical Medium, where you don't have any fats before 12. So I do, it's like an extension of the 369 cleanse that he does. So on the 369 cleanse, it means 3 days, 6 days, 9 days. You do this cleanse where you slowly push the body to get rid of the toxins, and then you can't do it all of a sudden because it's really bad for the body. But over those days, not having those fats, it gives the chance for the liver to do what it needs to do, what it does at night, which is why intermittent fasting is so popular, because you're doing that essentially, and then you're eating it, and it goes back. So his book, there's a book, I think, Liver, like I said, about the health, life-changing foods. Cleanse to Heal has the 369 cleanse in, and you can get those from the library as well if you request it. and the liver cleanse, which basically, if you think about your liver, in Qigong we talk about this as well. Our liver, we say it has our chi that you're born with, that you get from your ancestors. So it's a bit like your hereditary things, if you think of it on an energetical level in terms of Qigong and traditional Chinese medicine. But I love the way he sort of marries up with that, with his philosophies. He was saying about, it's like a bank. So your liver, you need to be putting the good stuff in, so eating certain things. If you're then going to go and maybe drink alcohol, have those sweets, those treats, all those things, think about when you do that, you're taking money out the bank. You're taking the energy out of the liver, and you only have an infinite amount of that with when it comes to the liver, most people would say, or the Chinese philosophy around that does say. What he says is actually to reverse that, to maybe to put the money back in the bank. You do that he recommends these cleanses. So the Liver Rescue book is all about that, and the information comes from in there anyway. So, that said, I'm obviously thinking about, well, how can I create a really good space within my body? My guidance was telling me, so this is channeled information, long before I found the medical medium information, that my issues with my teeth were connected with my gut, and his information backs that up. So also my guidance says it's also not just the gut, which I don't know if there's information out, I haven't come across it, but it's also the flora in our vagina, our genitals as well. Everything is connected. And actually saying that, I think he does say, for example, when he refers to candida, he says that is the body's natural way of flushing out other stuff, which is linked to things like Epstein-Barr and all the other bits and pieces. So unfortunately, there's not been a link made between the two, so we treat them separately. But obviously, you don't have to take my word for it, and take what resonates with what I say, discount what doesn't. I am a firm believer in you need to listen to your own gut. I certainly do, on a physical level and a mental level, and I encourage others to do the same. In fact, that's what I teach. I even say to my kids, always listen to your instincts. Even if I'm saying one thing or an adult is saying one thing, you listen to your gut, because 9 times out of 10, they might not have all the information you do, and you have to do, at the end of the day, what's right for you. That doesn't always equate to what the masses or what the adults want. So I know that kind of teaches rebellion in a way, but that's me. So morning, I was just saying, because morning Tracer, what I was referring to is asking, do you buy veg boxes? Do you have farms in your local area, or have you ever thought about getting veg boxes, cutting out the middleman like the supermarket, i.e., and supporting our local farmers? Another reason this has been kind of on my mind, not just because I have a lot of celery and really want to buy it in bulk, because I do buy it, I go through the checkout, it's like even standing there for half an hour and I just pick up the whole punnet. So going direct to a farmer seems to make sense. So I've been researching, how do I do that? And obviously it depends if they do it in your area, and it also then depends on the seasons. So a lot of our celery, one of the farmers says to me, is coming currently from Spain. So at the moment, you won't really necessarily get that. And some of the veg boxes don't have that in for that reason, because they're seasonal and they're with what we can grow here. So kind of the pros and cons of eating seasonal. As my husband jokes, you'd have to live without bananas, which I love, if you're going to do that. But doing it where you can. I mean, he says it the extreme and jokes because of the whole vegan thing. But even with meats, if you're a meat eater, to support farmers, and butcher shops seem to be, there's not many around anymore. There's a few. There's one near us in Bearsted. I don't know of other places. But locally, do you know if there's any local, and supporting those local businesses as well, it's about that. So that's what I wanted to highlight and ask what your thoughts are on this. If it's something you thought about, I certainly had thought about it, but my assumption was it was more expensive. So I will keep you updated on whether it is cheaper to do it, and because we kind of think of it, oh, eating healthy equates to more. It does seem when you go around in the shop that the junk is what's on offer, the junk is what's cheaper. So does that mean it kind of brings that economical and political, like, okay, so to take care of myself, is it a luxury? When actually it's an essential thing for our body to heal. I think there's going to be more things coming out about this, because I do think that it seems to be, maybe it's me and I'm not one for conspiracy, that when there's this sort of subtle, what would you call it? When people are like, oh, actually, like, oh, there's a link with that, with the gut and stuff. And if you're eating this, like, if you're eating more greens, it helps with the digestion and doing all this stuff. And then they'll, that contrary information seems to flood. Oh, we've got this new drug that will help that. Maybe it's just because there's a wanting for it, and therefore people are thinking and creating that. Maybe it's to counteract that, to jump on the bandwagon. I know people that were vegan years ago, and it was hard to get anything that was vegan. And they eat really healthy because they had to source things. Now I find it hard to eat out as a vegan, because I don't want to be eating all the vegan processed meats, which it's processed crap, a lot of it. It's not all of it, but I'm trying to cut out wheat and soy. So as a vegan, that's quite hard, because what's on offer, and grains as well, is more rice dishes, or it's always curry, which actually I see because it's a value. So anyway, let me know your thoughts and feelings, and if you are into all of this stuff, because now I can't go live on Nature Fan Live Love Lead, then please do follow if that's in for you, if it resonates. If it don't worry. I can always share my lives over or do videos and upload them, but that was a bit of a shock this morning to see that you have to have 100 followers to go live on there. Anyway, love and blessings for your day. Have a beautiful one. It's nice here where I am, so hopefully my branding shots didn't happen last night because of the weather. So tonight, fingers crossed, think of me. We want to get some decent ones. And busy week for the kids. I suppose lots of you there, your kids might be back at school if you've got them. If not, you back at work, or if you've been working all the way through and didn't have a half term. Half term always seems busier for me. But take care. Love to you both. Have a beautiful day. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.